Biddly, 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 bo. Yes, yo. Here we go. Quick shit live, everybody. You know what time it is. Get that badger in and on and over here. We had to move back to get his greatness in. The marathon, the first weekend marathon is done. We've got it out of the way, so we're jumping on for a quick shit live. We've got a few quick shout-outs to do for the Super Chats over the weekend. Shout out to Julie Neary, War Piglet, 78 RPM, Ming, Southie, MVG, Mark Newell, Legendary MVG, Dr. Farker and the Medics, and the Womb Raider. And you know it. Yes, Connor Townend, what's good, big man? So I'm just dropping in to do a quick review over the entirety of the weekend. We've been live hella long this weekend, haven't we? I'm not even joking. It's the longest I've ever done. I think I've done like 16 hours in 2 days or something. Or 12 hours in 2 days or something, which is, longest I've done. Yes, Nipper. How's it going, big man? Evening, big boy. How are we? Want to discuss yesterday's game. There's been loads of shit floating around, whether or not it's a good result, not all this stuff. Ultimately, Aston Villa are third in the league. Just a quick shit vid, Marcus Main, you know it. Stach free kick was crazy, mate. Absolutely crazy. Absolute right strike, buzzing for him. Just want to quickly say, like I say, people floating around this idea that it's not a good point away at Aston Villa. A point's a point ultimately, but when they're third in the league, you have to take what you get when you're given, don't you? So we're away from home. We did a poll a few weeks ago on one of the lives, and nobody thought we'd get a point. So we predicted a loss today, and then a point against Chelsea, which we managed to get. And then we predicted a point against Man City. If we can pick up a point against Man City, ultimately 3 points, take away the fact that it's out of 9, because that makes it sound shit. That's why the wins are obviously so important. Because you get one win, you're wasting 3 games by getting one win. Having said that, form's going to be quite important coming into the end of the season, and we do have some big games to come into. And you don't want to be on the end of many drubbings, which we haven't been. There's only Arsenal. And if we look at our goal difference that I keep banging on about, -9, pushing towards that 0 mark, which we're looking for. And if you get rid of the Arsenal game, they're getting beat 9-0 on aggregate. We're in the room, aren't we? That'd make us on 0 point on 0 goal difference, wouldn't it? Yes, Arse Ripper, what's good? Yes, Solanum, can't cope with all these lives. You discovered a marching powder stash in the woods. Used to be porno mag back in my day. Gates up, Solanum. We keep it moving, mate. We said we'd do a marathon, and Roger Slicker didn't believe us, so you got to strike while the iron's hot. We used to make it hot by striking. Smash them likes for us. Appreciate you, JT. If you smash a like for us, it does help. We need to get some more free kicks happening on the edge of the box. He's class. Yeah, well, certainly most goalkeepers will certainly be anticipating Stach to have a cheeky chip at it, won't he now? So, crazy goal. But yeah, it's a good point. We played really well in the first half. You've not missed out 78 RPM, fear not. Crazy good first half. I thought we were far better than him. I thought we competed. Unai Emery loves his changes. I thought Sancho made a massive difference when he came on. I don't particularly... It's not that I don't rate Sancho, because he's obviously a good player, but, he's been about the bush a bit, hasn't he? And he's not particularly been... he's not lit it up everywhere he's been. He's been a bit of a bit part player pretty much everywhere he's been, apart from Dortmund when he obviously went from Man City. And I actually thought, because I didn't want him going to Scum, because I thought that would improve him. And, I'd have rather he gone to Man City at the time, and it ended up being a pretty decent move for me and for him. Not for him, but for me, because obviously it didn't improve Man United whatsoever. But I thought he changed the game when he came on. I thought they had that little bit of extra quality, to be honest, which is the difference between being 15th, 16th in the league and 3rd in the league. I just can't get my head around really going away to Aston Villa. They did us at home. I thought we competed against them at home. We've got a point out of them. There's not many teams that have done us over in both games. Arsenal obviously did us over, but they're top at league. They've just hammered Tottenham 4-1. I'd sit through that and watch that, even though I was slightly hopeful Tottenham would be able to do something just so Arsenal don't win the league. Puts a little bit more pressure on weekend's game, really, for Man City. They're going to be bang up for it, aren't they? Pep Guardiola's been speaking really nicely about Farker. I think they're good friends. He says he speaks to him a lot, and Farker's mentioned it before with Pep. So this idea that, I think the managers actually understand levels, don't they? Where you go into management knowing that Pep Guardiola knows he's got the most money, knows he's got the best players at his disposal. It's not the idea where Pep just thinks that this Championship manager Farker doesn't know what day it is, or he's an idiot or whatever. If they'll speak to each other, and you'll know, just like when you bump into somebody, within moments, don't you, whether they've got a bit about them and they actually understand what day it is. And Pep Guardiola will definitely be exposing managers that don't know what they're talking about. Hence why he has a lot of respect for Neil Warnock. They're at the different end of the food chain, aren't they? But, they don't mean Neil Warnock doesn't know what's going on in football. Daniel Farke knows what's going on in football. Pep Guardiola likes him. Pep Guardiola hung around Bielsa, who was allegedly a madman. But he hangs around him on the basis that, he knows that he's going to learn plenty from him. So they talk often, and it's not just me saying that. Pep Guardiola said it in a post-match yesterday, and Farke said it about him before. So, and Pep Guardiola said that he helps him. They help each other. So, changes that what you said, changes which Farke knew, la 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 la. You know it, JT, yeah, whatever. To be honest, Jack, I was expecting a lot harder game, if I'm honest. That's it, Nipper. Yeah, the first half, I thought we were far dominant. We looked like the home side. We looked like the side that, third in league, really. I think our actual Premier League position is slightly skewed, really. Just with a few results and, yes, a few late goals before everybody jumps down my neck. But, 6 points, I was saying it earlier, but that takes us into 10th. Is that really, it's crazy. 6 more points, which you can see where the 6 points come from. Yesterday for a start off. Aston Villa could have done better against. Tottenham we could have done better against. There's plenty of room for improvement as well for us, really. Pushing forward, going forward. There's plenty of things we can do in summer. Plenty of, everybody can be improved. We are in a sort of position where we're a strong side, and I do feel like we can be improved by just getting more robust, better players. We play team football, don't we? We don't seem to be. We're not individualistic. We're not looking out for anybody particularly. Not when we go forward. We're not having to go through a certain channel, like when we were in the Championship the first year and we became a little bit predictable and we had to go through. We had to go through Somerville all the time, and it became a little bit predictable. And we're having to teams were doubling up on him, knowing that we're just sort of like. Because ultimately, when you start running out of ideas a little bit, you do become one-dimensional. But the way we play, because we're quite aggressive, and we do get forward in numbers, in bunches, and we do press, and then we do still have... We're still equipped at the back. We're still strong at the back. We've still got Gruev, Ampadu, Rodon, Biol, or Struik, whoever's at the back. Even if James Justin's gone on the press, because they do. Him and Bogle will both go and push. Stach is over there, Aronson's over there, DCL's over there, and then we've still got half the team that are defensively minded to hold the fort, really, so that when Villa did get through us, when they did break the press, when they did beat the press, we've still got numbers in. It's quite an intelligent press rather than being the alleged man-to-man where they all just go flying forward, in this alleged man-to-man thing that Bielsa did, which obviously Bielsa denies that it's man-to-man. He thinks it's too low-resolution thinking, which I think is probably right. I think you look at it and go, well, it looks like it's man-to-man. But the reality is there's probably a lot more to it. Yes, Pat Dunn, can't help myself, mate. We're on a marathon and you know it. Yeah, don't worry about it, you two. To be fair, we've had plenty. We've had plenty, haven't we, today? This is a bit of a different vid, boys. I'm just coming on to talk. Yes, indeed, Roger Slicker. If you don't know by now, you never knew. Voldemort. Yeah. So a good result, ultimately. You'd have taken a point before the game. I don't want to then be in hindsight looking after the game and saying, well, the 3 points of effort taken. You just got to take what you get when you get it. I would take a point now against Man City. If the win's on the table, you obviously want the win and you want to take it. But if you come away with the point, you just got to hold your hands up and go, well, we would have taken that. It's when we go into games like Sunderland. Got Sunderland, they've picked up a couple of injuries apparently today. Palace, been really poor of late. Brentford will be a difficult game. You want 6 points out of them next 3 after that. So that's literally what you're looking at. And then I honestly think that puts us near to safety. I mean, some people saying that 40 points won't be safe. I cannot see. I know everybody now thinks that West Ham are brilliant and they're the best managed club in the world, even though they're 18th and only won 6 games all season. Lost 14 games. Which is 4 more than what we've lost. We've won 1 more and drawn 3 more, That's why we're 7 points clear of them, 6 points clear of them. They need 3 positive results. We've obviously got them on last day, which I don't think it'll come down to. But West Ham are not going to pick up 15 points out of the next 30, are they? Out of the next 33 points, are they going to pick up 15 points? You're living in cloud cuckoo land if you think they're getting 15 points out of the next 11 games. That'd be, it's basically like over half of what they've got this season already in 27 games. So their form will fall off again. We're staying up easy, says Arse Ripper. Could have been a lot easier, I agree. Joe Depp 2-2 at the weekend. You'd take it, wouldn't you, for certain? Fall shoal, brother. But yeah, there's plenty of shit floating around that we're going to need 40-odd points and stuff. I don't think we are. Ultimately, you just pick up as, who cares? We just pick up as we go, don't we? Spurs, I can actually genuinely confirm now, I would say, are in a relegation battle. They've got pumped. They've got Fulham and Palace next week. In 2 weeks. Is that next? No, that must be... Is February a short month? 22nd. Yeah, next week. Fucking hell. It's crazy. So they've got Fulham on 1st of March, and then they've got Palace on 5th. So, 2 massive games, really. Obviously, Palace are in and around them, so they can pull away a bit. Palace obviously won today, which is a bit unfortunate, but really, you're not going to keep them all down, are you? So it's out of us. Brighton are probably too far away now. They're 9 points in front of West Ham. It's out of us, Tottenham, Forest and West Ham. And currently, you'd have to be a brain surgeon to realise that we're sitting top of that 4. So if we're in a little table, in the 4 there, we are top of the 4. And we are the only ones that really, can look a little bit upwards and think with a couple of results, we can actually be aiming towards that 10th in league, which we'll be looking for next year. Sunderland are on the decline, and adrenaline only lasts so long. It's the similar season to the Championship season where they turned up early doors and then fell apart ever so slightly. Ended up obviously still going up, but we were the ones that got the 100 points and went up. It's up, yeah. Jack turning into the podcast junkie. We said we were doing a marathon, and Roger Slicker said, I'm a gunner. I said, I'm a gooner. So I says, no, mate, I'm in this marathon. I'm going on. I was knackered. I was laid downstairs then, and I thought, it's either pub, podcast, or podcast then pub. So I think it's going to be podcast then pub. Yes, green grass, what you saying, big man? What do you think his chances are of staying up, green grass? Can't be on with it. Can't be on with the madness that ensues in the... there's a guy here that is pretty... Twitter's funny as fuck, innit? You can't beat it. You can't beat it. It's top dollar. Top banana. Roger Slicker in the one. The one and only Roger Slick. JT and Arse Ripper will be frustrated that I just can't keep doing the changes that Farker does or doesn't make when we've been discussing it all day, haven't we? He can only make a certain amount of changes. I don't think Tanaka for Gruev when we're up against it is a good move. I don't think that's a good substitution to make. He could have swapped Gruev, because you were banging on about Gruev all day. Could have swapped Gruev for Longstaff, but then he'd have had to keep Stach on the pitch, who I think we can all agree would have needed a rest, having not played many games. Coming back from injury, everybody would go absolutely Billy Bento if he didn't bring Stach off and Stach picks up an injury, or, he gets even more leggy. You could see his legs were slightly going. 78 RPM says, we are not in a relegation battle. We are on a how many finish below us fight. Yes, indeed. 78 RPM. We're sitting all right in 15th. You'd have taken, if I'd have told you at the start of the season, obviously it skews it a bit with how bad Tottenham were last year. If I'd have told you at the start of this season that we'd be, 27 games in and we'd be above Tottenham, you'd probably think we were pushing for Europe. So you'd take that. And to be fair, from last season, Notts Forest. So even West Ham. We're gonna break the duct here this year, aren't we? Last year, Tottenham got 38 points and they finished 5, 6, 7, 8. They finished 13 points above the drop. Now, granted, you're going to need more than that. You're going to need more than 25 this year. That's how bad it was last year. So obviously West Ham are already on 25. They're going to get realistically another 10 points, I'd say. We're on 31. If they got 35, we'd need 4 more out of 11 games, which is a madness, really. That's not a lot of points to pick up, is it? Let's have it right. But if we get 6 or 7 points out of 11 games, which is very doable, a couple of wins, I honestly think if we get 6 points out of the next 4 games, or 7 points out of the next 4 games, let's say, I think that keeps us, I think we're then safe. Honestly, I would go that far. Hungry, I like the wolf, yeah. Palace beat Wolves today. Wolves missed a penalty as well, which is ultra frustrating. It was an awful pen as well to take. It was dreadful. We went one season winning no away games and home form kept us up, finished 17th, says CB. Yes, indeed. I know I mention it all the time, but Notts Forest, the year that they stayed up, they only got, I think they won one game away from home, which is currently what we're at, to be fair. I think we'll have probably drawn more than Notts Forest did. I'm 70% confident we will stay up, but it's not a given. Squeaky bum time, says AO. We are safe for me, Teddy Greengrass. Greengrass straight in there, not messing about. Leeds need to sort their abysmal away form. When are they going to get their next away win? This is it, George McPherson. I don't know whether we're abysmal away from home. It's just that we can't turn any of these draws into wins, can we? I don't want to be daft, but this is kind of what I'm saying about the building process that we're potentially on. If it's quite easy to build on what we have created or what Dr. Farker and the medics are creating. It's quite clear what we need to do, The away form's obviously going to be the hardest thing, but what you don't want to do is sort out the away form and then the home form falls away, do you? I'd rather be better at home than I would be away. It's just, that's nature of beast. Maybe that's just because I go to the home games, but I don't think we've been abysmal away from home. We've picked up plenty of draws and stuff. Greengrass isn't having it. I think we'll stay up, but could you imagine claiming the 38-point trophy and getting relegation? The irony would have killed us all. Well, definitely when Dr. Farker and the medics have been on about, the point per game thing, that's been spun around along. But it is true, isn't it? If we get to 38 points, we're staying up. It's 7 points from where we're at now. If we're on 38 now, we'd be with Bournemouth. The question earlier was whether or not we'll finish above Sunderland. Sunderland are currently 5 points in front of us. 2 positive results away from us. They're 12th. They've won 1 in 5. And we've obviously got them. We've got them coming up. They got beat 3-1 to Fulham today. Fulham have been indifferent in form. They've won 2 out of the last 5, including today. I take draws all day long away from home, says Nipper. Yeah, that's what I mean. You just got to take them as they come. And you really do notice. You notice how difficult teams are to play against. Aston Villa have lost 6 games in 27 matches this season. They are 3rd in the league. Whether or not, again, the league's been the strongest that it's been, in the top 5, top 6, I don't think it has. I don't think any team's sort of running away with anything, are they? I don't think Man City have been in particular. They're in decent form now, won 4 of the last 5, but they're not the train that there was once on, are they? Arsenal are ambling the way towards the league at the moment. Villa, again, form slightly indifferent, but ultimately still 3rd in the league. They're probably the least informed side, would you say, out of the top 6, top 5 or 6. Man U are probably in better form than Villa. They're probably on a bit of a dip. But still, when you're bringing Sancho on and that, which I don't particularly rate, but even Tammy Abraham, who gets the goal, I said that were a good signing. I'd have taken Tammy Abraham, and people were sort of laughing at that in summer. I just thought, in the January window, just thought if we could have dragged Tammy Abraham in, that's a mint signing. We've got to sort of know where we're at, and if Unai Emery can get if he thinks that's a worthwhile substitution to be making, we've ended up with Cornetto, haven't we? And whether or not he gets any minutes. Hammer Canabia, I'm looking up the league. We can easily finish above Sunderland and Newcastle. We are consistently not getting beat, seriously. We are not getting relegated, no way. I agree, Hammer Canabia. I don't see how, unless we fall to bits. I actually think we can afford to fall to bits a bit as well. I think if honestly, at these next 4 games, 6 or 7 points, we can fall to bits as much as you want. I don't think we will, because I think we've got a genuinely excellent mentality amongst the whole squad. I think Man City, Taddy Greengrass saying Man City's league. I hope so. I can't stand Arsenal. I had a Man City fan on earlier, to be fair, on stream, who were just abusing me. But, it is what it is. I don't know why you're abusing me. I want Man City to win the league, but he never asked, so he was just on about pumping us at weekend. Joe Depp, Sunderland finish above us, but hopefully we'll climb a few places yet. Well, Sunderland are wavering though, aren't they? As I say, only won 1 in the last 5. Let's have a look here. 1 in the last 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They beat Burnley. They got beat to West Ham. They beat Crystal Palace. Not a bad result. They got beat to Brentford. They drew with Tottenham. Drew with Man City. Drew with us. Drew with Brighton. There's a lot of draws creeping in there. Obviously beat Newcastle. Got beat to Man City. Drew with Liverpool. They've picked up some good results. They've been good value this year as well. Sunderland are on their late slide. They are known for. It's the mid slide, isn't it? The mid to late slide. Leeds can't rely on draws away from home. It's not good for the club. Better than getting beat, though, isn't it, George? Because, you know, everybody keeps telling me that we're not picking up the results, we're not getting the 3 points, but nobody's saying, well, we're not getting beat on road either. And ultimately, you know, anything you can pick up on road. I thought that's what we all agreed on at the start of the season. Let's make, like Dr. Farker says, let's make Ellen Road a fortress and let the away form sort of take control of itself, and just whatever you pick up over there. Thank God we have been picking up points over there because the league's been so competitive, and we are very much a part of it, aren't we? In fairness, Espio made a lot of sense. He did MVG, yeah, he was all over it, wasn't he? Danny Bowden, big up yourself, Jack lad. We're Leeds United, we're Premier League, and you know it, Danny Bowden. Absolutely, you know it, mate. Arsenal will be praying we do a number on Man City. Yes, indeed, they will, Roger Slicker. That's why I was slightly hopeful that Tottenham would get something done, so that then we could go and beat Man City, and it doesn't really affect Arsenal's lack of titles. We have to take away from home. We have to take away from home. Like an Indian, mate. What's your curry? Any season, a point on the road is good. I agree, Danny Bowden. If you're pushing for league titles and if you're pushing for Europe and stuff, it's, you know, I get it. It's massive, you know. But Aston Villa will be relatively happy with a point, won't they, from yesterday? You know, Stach's top binner. Set the wheat from the chaff. Again, you've got to go with that, you know. That's what I'm saying about, you know, the individual brilliance we've got in the squad as well. That is individual brilliance, isn't it, from Stach? It's absolute outrageous finish. Put Martinez on toast. It was a pleasure to watch. We are too Sunderland to what West Ham are to us. Just a bit beyond reach, hopefully. I think we, yeah, to be fair, I do think West Ham will waver again. I don't think they're going to continue on this alleged tip-top form that they're in. 2 draws, 2 wins and a loss in the last 5. You know, they're decent form. We did, if you remember, we did beat West Ham pretty comfortably. What makes Pep's sides a force in the game when they clearly ain't firing on all cylinders? Well, the individual quality they've got, haven't they? And obviously his way of playing does work. I just mean it's wavered in comparison to what it once was. Results away from home, take them. Similar, to be fair, even at home, you know, you've got to take your draws against Liverpool at home and stuff, haven't you? And go, well, fuck it, what did we anticipate again? Danny Bowden, Guardiola has sent the Dossers out on the lash in the shittest city in England for 3 days. 3 points next week. I saw him saying that, like, go get yourself a daiquiri and stuff. I thought, that's like the most unlike Pep thing I've ever heard in my whole life, to be honest. Bosh, Danny Bowden, bosh. Random question, Jack. Have you ever driven an electric car? No, I haven't, Roger Slicker. It's very random. Nipper, some people need a reality check, Jack. Stand back and look at the bigger picture. We're staying up this season. We've got plenty to build on. Dr. Farker has got us solid. He's got us rigid. We know what we need. We need a bit of extra special sauce out wide, up top. Somebody to back. You know, just every position just needs, you know, fulfilling. There's not a position on the field that we can't improve in. It's obvious. Sort the away form out in terms of just picking up a few more points, being able to grind out results. Just that extra 5 minutes, the hardest yards, the last 5 minutes. Once you get it sorted, you know, once we get used to grinding for 90 minutes, and there's not a moment silence. You know, there's not a moment where you can't take a moment off. There can't be even a blip by anybody. You know, it gets exposed in this league, doesn't it? And that we'll cut that out. Once we cut that out, you know, we really are grinding results out. AO says, I want this season over so we can focus on bringing new players, getting rid of baggage, and get that top 10 finish we should have achieved this season, marching on together. I don't want this season over yet, AO. I want to enjoy this, mate, because we don't know what we're running into next year. Things can change extremely quick, can't they, as we well know. So I'm not in any mad rush to get rid of this season. I'm going to enjoy it to the fullest. If you could smash a like for us, guys, there's 50 in room, but we've only got 24 likes, so we can definitely get them likes up. We tried to get to 100 today on his live streams, but we didn't quite achieve the 100 mark. But, you know, there's time yet. We can maybe get to 100. I'm only here for another 20 minutes or so, 15 minutes though. Art style images, we will stay up, Chava. The problem will be there will be some serious bids for some of our players. The question is, can we keep them? We were talking about this briefly today, to be fair, art style images. and who'd actually want our players and stuff. And I think it was Roller Blunt was saying, who do you reckon's the top 6 players and stuff that like top 6 teams would want our players? And I'm not sure how many of them there is really. I think Ampadu would be wanted by teams, but I don't think Ampadu will go. I think he's quite happy for us to build around him. I definitely don't think Farker will want Ampadu gone. I think Nonto might go. Tanaka may go. Meslier will be on his way. It'd be interesting to see what we do with keepers, because we've got Perry and Darlow. Whether or not Darlow wants to hang around if he don't think he's the number 1. Would Perry be happy being the number 2? Would Darlow be happy if we got rid of... we can't get rid of all 3. We'd end up with Cairns then, and you've got to buy 2 keepers. So they're definitely keeping 1. So I can envisage a world where Perry agrees to fight for the number 1 spot and ends up being the number 2. I can see a world where that is, and Darlow maybe moves on. I don't think Darlow will want to be the number 2 to the next keeper, I don't know. The keeper's a tricky one. And they won't want to lose money on Perry neither, that's for sure. Peru, Peral, Parisley will get moved on, and I think that's probably for the right, isn't it? For the greater good. Marcus May, yes, I will be going to the Norwich game, mate. I need to check, actually, when the tickets... I got an email the other day, but I can't remember when I can apply for my ticket. I don't know if it's today or tomorrow, so I need to get stuck in for that. But I'll definitely be going to that. Why are you going to that, Marcus? Nipper says, defence has been top draw for me. Every team lets goals in at some point. They crumble, man. We were watching Forest today at Liverpool, and Liverpool was so bad in that game. They scored 2 goals in the last 2 minutes. And they were so bad. But it also, even if the other team's bad, it takes a lot of energy to keep the pressure on them, doesn't it? And they ended up losing the game, conceding 2 goals. One of them got disallowed in the last few minutes of a game. And Forest had been the better team for 90 minutes, 89 minutes. And then they served them up a shit sandwich. So, top 10 finish, are you mad? I think Greengrass has been in alehouse. He's not having it. Junk Monkey, you can only be mithered by an away point if you're bidding for Europe. We're not there yet, Junk Monkey. That's what I'm saying, big man. Obviously, when you're pushing, it's even more frustrating. And I'm frustrated by it. It was there for the taking, wasn't it? It was there for the win. I just don't think it's Dr. Farker's fault. It were there for the win. We couldn't quite get it over the line. Shit is as shit does. We move on. We'll be all right. Yet again, we will move. We will keep moving. Bar Perry's, all our players have increased in value. I agree, Danny Bowden. There's not a single one other than maybe Aronson from his 25 million year days. But, again, he's probably worth 15, 20 million now for what performances he's putting in. Ampadu's value's skyrocketed. Stach's value will have gone up. There's going to be some big bids which might end up making us keep some of the lesser players. But, I know nobody likes my best mate Longstaff, but, people like Longstaff will be hanging about. And that's a good thing. You want the squad depth. I think that's a good signing still. Hopefully can keep Stach, because I do really like Stach. Ampadu will stay. Gruev, I think, might end up staying, just because he has been utilised a lot this year. And he probably, what type of move does Gruev get? But again, these people just get pushed further down the pecking order, don't they? If we are to bring in a centre midfielder, I think we probably look at signing a player in each position on the field, as in defensively, midfield, and then up top, out wide. I don't think we'll get, maybe 5 players, 4 players with a keeper, so 5. Doo painted King Charles has just opened his art gallery at Knaresborough train station. Crazy, maybe. Crazy, baby. Lurking and liking Joe Peruk and Sniffer Goal. Appreciate you, brother. 52-inch room, only 33 likes. We can cozy on up to that like button, boys. We've been on a marathon this weekend. I'm genuinely my eyes are burning from staring at screen all day and talking. I don't even talk, honestly. I go out and I'm I don't really chat. I'm yeah, whatever, yeah. And I'm literally I've never spoke so much in my whole life in this past 2 days. It's been ruthless. Wired at work last night. Who wants to talk to me? I thought, I've not seen anybody, and I feel like I've seen hundreds of people this weekend. So the marathon, I feel like I'm doing it for charity or something, like a 24-hour marathon. As you ask, yes, Greengrass, I have been certified with severe mental illness by Shrinks. Fear not, AO, you're in the right room, mate. Marcus, yeah, mate, hopefully travelling up from Wales. Get up, Marcus. If you are about, big man, let me know, because we'll have to meet for a yucca, old boy. But there's no reason why I shouldn't be at that game. I do need to check the... I'll check when I can apply, because I do need to make sure that I'm on the bollards with it. But, yeah. I was going to get Greengrass a ticket, but he's been a fanny and he's off somewhere else doing something else out of Greengrass, so he never wants to hang about with me. Danny Bowden, I think all 4 keepers move on unless Cairns is happy to stay on as a legend. I think Cairns will stay on, Danny Bowden. And apparently he's right good round gaff as well, like, you know, after training and stuff he wants to go. If lads want to have, like, time after training, shooting, shooting on goal and stuff, whipping balls in or whatever, apparently Cairns is the one that's up for hanging about. So I think he'll stay on and he'll be cheap and he's good for the role, you know, for your 4th goalkeeper. But if we get rid of Perry, Darlow and Mez, which Mez will have moved on, that's crazy, man. That's scary to me, that. Proper scary. There's too much to go out there. There's too much to repair. And then you get who you're getting in, because you're having to sign the number 2 goalkeeper. You've got Perry, say. So you get rid of Perry, but you buy another Perry, don't you? You've got Perry and he ends up being shit. So you buy a number 2 goalkeeper to compete with Perry. What do you say to each keeper? You've got to tell one of them that they're the number 1. So then by definition you have to sign a worse goalkeeper. We'll definitely keep all the Perry or Darlow at the end of this season. Darlow maybe thinks he can get in the team because, you know, ultimately he's dragged us out of a lot of shit, hasn't he, the past few years. He's dragged us out of Meslier's shit, and now he's dragging us out of Perry shit. You know, nobody wants a Perry shit, do they? Europe is only happening if the FA Cup is won, Brett. And you know who's winning that FA Cup, don't you, boy? Meslier never increased, neither did Bamford or Harrison. Wobber never increased in value, or even Firpo. What's your point, Roger Slicker? We're in Prem now, mate. They're all increasing. Who we keep for depth, attitude will be more important than perceived ability. So if you can convince, say, a Gruev to do it, that is great. Agreed, 78 RPM. And though, again, players that sort of know the roles and know that they're not going to be first on the team sheet, but there is a way into the side for them. Yeah, there's a way into the side for Gruev. He can see, you know, he thinks, well, they're going to bring a player in. I'm lower down the pecking order, but we've been here before. I've seen this movie before. Farker will give me my chance. He does trust me. I'll eventually get some minutes and I'll prove to him that I'm the better centre midfielder at the club. And, you know, him and Ampadu have been mint in middle. They genuinely have. In fairness to Gruev, he would be good defender for us, but as a defender, Amps need better quality to complement him. Up the Knaresborough Road, massive, says Danny Bowden. Gears up. G60 Nick, done good, Jack lad. Just need to get on the mic next and get an ass-kicking album out. Thank you very much, G60 Nick. You're a ledge, mate. Appreciate you, brother. Yes, Graham Smith, hi, buddy. Great show. Can't wait for City now after that yesterday, mate. Agreed, man, yeah. Bring them on. Bring all the giants on. Bring that Guardiola fella up to Ellen Road and see how he likes the heat. See if he can deal with Ellen Road under lights, boy. I doubt it. As a midfielder, Amps needs better than Gruev. I love Alex Cairn, says Danny Bowden. Teddy Greengrass says Trafford. You'd take Trafford. I think it'd be interesting to see what Trafford does, really. I mean, he comes in as the number 1, doesn't he? That is for sure. But then Perry won't want that sauce, will he? Perry will be like, I'm on my way. If you bring it, he'll be like, a Wimber way. I'm on my way. Because he won't want to be competing with Trafford, because in reality, there's no competition, is there? If Leeds get to Europe, are we going on the Chips Mayonnaise tour? The special Mayonnaise tour, mate, and you know it, Roger Slicker. Trafford and Lukic, sure. Bring on Lukic all day, mate. Get Trafford on loan's a possibility, 78 RPM, yeah? I mean, you take him on loan. I wouldn't really like the idea of a lone goalkeeper, but, you know, why not? You know, if we are talking about Pep Guardiola and Farker being busy mates and helping each other out, be a perfect opportunity, wouldn't it, to... You know, for Guardiola to help us out. You know what I mean? Darlow is improving, to be fair. Yeah, he's been good. He's dug us out of a few holes, hasn't he? Look on the bright side, lads. We could have had Harrison and Wobber back in the summer. Yes, CB. We've definitely moved on. I think Farker's also been quite good at gradually moving us on as well, you know, and being like, no, there's a time, you know, where the vets do have to move on, but he's not done it knee-jerk. It's not been like, you know... I don't know, he's not done a Jesse Marsh or something where it's like I have to come in and make big decisions. It's like he just sort of gradually eased everybody out, hasn't he? And we've got a new squad, haven't we? Completely, really. You know, Nonto's not getting minutes. You know, Nonto's one of the last sort of like players from that Premier League era, isn't he? Off the top of my head, don't think there's anybody else. Obviously Pascal, but he's a big, strong lad. That's not going to be a problem for us. Gruever's a proper squad player. Agreed, Danny Borden, absolutely. AO says, that's the problem, Jack. We shouldn't have to be looking to buy players. Our youth team should be the next in line to improve the senior team. It's just a thing that passed in it, AO, unfortunately. And managers and squads and teams can't give youngsters the enough time in order to come good, can they? They just can't do it. So the only way they do it is, you know, to make money out of them, like we did with Archie Gray. And really we did that because he was in the Championship and we was able to play him, you know, all season. And in reality, if we'd have been in the Prem, you know, does Archie Gray play that amount of minutes? That massively helped him in the Championship that year. And his stock will have rose, and it's good for him, you know, to get the minutes. Graham getting the love. Roger Slicker, our figure of only 1% youth make it as a professional from the football academies washed up at 23. It's madness. It's an absolute madness. Take it easy, Greengrass. Smash a like on your way out, boy. We need to get these likes up. 38, 54 in room and only 38 likes. Let's get these likes up, boy. Exactly, Andy. The youth team system is a train wreck and it leaves us needing to buy in players. But everybody does, don't they, AO? And you need to be ready, riped and ready to go. His Leeds youth team at a decent level. We apparently at one stage a few years ago we had all the boys, didn't we? Everybody were coming through, and we were going to be, you know, there were Rafinha were in under 21s, you know, playing with them all. So they were literally in the hands of God, really, you know, with some players down there. Greenout were meant to be good. Greenwood were meant to be, Geldout were meant to be good. Greenwood were meant to be good. Somerville obviously has come good. Who else did we have in there? We've had loads. Bates. You know, I mean, this is from sort of the Championship years, really, mainly. But, you know, we sign players all the time, don't we? Every time we do it in January, we did in summer. We get these youngsters, but there's no point going on about them. The amount of people we've actually brought through in my history, I think, Smith, Milner. Who else come through? Youth system, really. I mean, I think it's crazy, really. There's got to be some lads round Leeds, you know, some young lads round Leeds that just want to play for Leeds. Archie Gray obviously has come through. There's another Gray on the way, hopefully. But again, there's a lot of pressure on his shoulders, and it's... Struett was academy, yes, 78 RPM, yeah. I knew a last once who had mint sauce on everything. I tried to educate her, but no available, and I mean everything. And you know it, Roger Slicker, and you know it. We've spent a fair few quid on the youth, and news coming out of Thorpe Arch suggests we're in good stead. This is it, though. This is it, Danny Borden. We speak about that. We get told this every year and a half, don't we? Where we've got all these youth players coming through, and then we're washed. Greengrass getting the love. Danny Borden not having it. It was just I never see your youth team pop up. No. Yes, Bungle B, Jack's Footy Sunday Marathon, and you know it. We've done Saturday and Sunday Jungle Bee. Bunglebee, sorry. My eyes are like bumblebees. I'm like fucking, like I've been zapped in eyes. But, you know, nobody do it how we does it. We've got as many dustbin lids in our squad as most. That's what I mean. There's plenty of kids floating about. But it's just, it's so hard to integrate them into the side, and we can't be pissing around. You know, Matteo Joseph, another one, we tried his best with him. He's jetted off, and you know, doing note elsewhere. There's loads of youth players. Look at what Man United have been doing of late, like, you know, past 5 or 6 years. You know, I think everybody romanticises the class of '92 or whatever they're called, the Neville and Giggs and Beckham and era, and that's the first time that's ever happened to my knowledge, and last time it's ever happened to my knowledge. So there's like Lamine Yamal that's come through Barcelona, Messi's come through Barcelona, you know, Harry Kane through Tottenham, but he had to go out on loan all the way. It's like, you know, they're 21 and they're either ready to make it or they're not, in my opinion. I don't think there's any in between. They're either riped and ready, primed, rocking and rolling, or they get binned off. It's awful, really. Can't believe you're forgetting your boy Lennon. Unbelievable MVG, especially when I was talking about him the other day. Academy graduate. Yes, indeed. He had a good career as well, did Lennon. Had his issues as well, did lad though. I like Lennon, top lad. But yeah, Lennon, that were a good. Well, yeah. So Milner, Smith, Lennon, McPhail. Did McPhail come through ours? But I mean, I know he dropped off a little bit, but did he come through? We maybe had a few from that side, really. Not wrong with mint sauces, Danny Bowden, and you know it, mate. If I'm wrong, Danny, we wouldn't need to buy players. We'd sign our youths instead. We are signing youths, though. Ayo, that's the thing. But it's just whether or not they're good enough. You don't know till you got them in door, do you? That's the problem. They all look good on ball. They've all got a great touch. They all can pass 10 yards. It's just whether or not they can actually affect games and take training onto the pitch, which is the hardest thing. Everybody's all right in training, aren't they? Once you get on pitch. Batty was academy, says Amakanabia. Yes, indeed. Batty's the man as well, to be fair. Yes, indeed, Danny Bowden. I know that last, but vinegar down my Jap's eye made me blow her out. 78 RPM fighting fire with fire. What midweek watch-alongs are we doing? What did we decide the other day, Brett? I can't do tomorrow. Because I'm in Glastonbury, but there's a game on Tuesday that you mentioned, didn't there? I can't do tomorrow, unfortunately. But what game did you say were on Tuesday, Brett? Any games that are on through week, if I'm at home, I'll do. Brett says, competitively, I play in Premier League 2 and Europe, see quite a few teams pop up. It's a whirlwind down there. Speed came through as well, Amakanabia. Yeah, I mean, to be fair, that era, you know, I take that back about that era because we did actually, everybody brought players through, didn't they, to be fair. It's becoming less and less. Teams can't risk it. 100% Jack, if they're not ready by 21, they'll never be elite footballers. I do believe that, AO. I know you could probably say Harry Kane's a late bloomer. I can't remember how old he was when he burst onto the scene, like Micah Richards style. Again, somebody from Man City or were it Arsenal or something, his academy initially, but regardless. It's very rare. If they're not ready, if they're not, doing something or at least showing some promise, they fall away. That's why this next couple of years for Nonto's massive, really. I am harsher if they are still in academy after 19. They are low league fodder. 78 RPM. I won't be far off agreeing with you, brother. So the class of 92 is bollocks. Leeds United won the last ever First Division title in 1992 and the FA Cup Youth Club within 5 years. Class of 2 is Howard Wilkinson's Leeds United, Danny Bowden. Keep the Barmy Army coming through. Vardy was a late developer. Yes, indeed. Roger Slicker, that's a fair shout. And we're holding our own in those competitions now. They're having a youth off. In this day and age, the youngsters need more time to develop. Putting them into the first team early is risky. Yeah, but I just mean, George, they've got to be showing the level of promise where, you could chuck them in. Or they can at least do 10 minutes and that, or, a few games and then they get put back into under 21s and then they're back and they're back around squad. They're training with first team squad, which I'm sure a lot of them do. But they need to be around it. Vinnie Jones, Ian Wright, late developers again from yesteryear in it. But that is a fair point. I didn't realise Vinnie Jones were a late bloomer, to be fair. But I know Ian Wright didn't sign until he was 20 odd or something. He was banging Sunday League goals in or something, wasn't he? Ian Wright, mental. Brett doesn't see Leeds' name pop up, Danny. Have it at that. Jamie Forrester, Kevin Sharp, Mark Tinkler, Mark Ford. I know Mark Ford. All FA Cup youth winners with Leeds United. All good players as well, my brother. Roger Slicker, Brian Clough said Big Jack Charlton did mature in football terms. Yes, but was still a good footballer at 21 though, wasn't he? Still showed promise, surely. Danny Bowden, English football needs the return of the reserve league. End of. I agree, Danny Bowden. I don't understand this under 21 jargon. It needs to be like, where you just you bolster a squad and you get them in the reserves in the hope that we get them into the first team. It's under 21s isn't doing that anymore. I'll have to get a watch along for that, Brett. A blockbuster, brother. A late bloomer, a late developer 11, and you know it. Andy would be happy with that. Let's get that wrote down. I think we might have had that. I think we might have spoke about that before, to be fair. A late bloomer 11. There'll be some interesting takes come up from that as well. Appreciate you, Pat Dunn. Thank you, brother. It's been a marathon. Honestly, I think I've been live for 9 hours today or something. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know why I'm doing it. But we're just seeing what happens out there, I think. We wanted to watch some footy, so I thought I'd watch it with the boyos. And I got invited to somebody's wedding earlier, so... And you know it. One more World Cup than Brian Clough. Fucking hell. I think that's me when I can't talk. Yes, guys, appreciate every which one of you. There's 55 of you in the room, only 44 likes, and we know we're on that rotisserie, so I know there's at least 20 people in here that wasn't here from the start, because we lose people, we get people, we lose people. So if you could smash a like, could send them likes up on my way out, it'd be much appreciated. I'm off to Wetherspoons for a couple of pints, I think, and then I'm off. I'm going to have that kebab that I spoke about all day, and then I'm off to bed. And I aren't joking. I aren't lagging you. No, you're a legend, Danny Bowden. We all love you and we all love Leeds, and you know it. Shout out to 78 RPM. Jermaine Beckford will fit in windscreens, still in his 20s. Am I going to be a fair shout again? Jack will be a good bridesmaid at anybody's wedding. Ooh, matron. Take it easy, MVG. Take it easy, Danny Bowden. Appreciate every which one of you. Enar in the wings. Thank you for today as well, Enar. You're a legend, mate. If you smash a like for us, guys, honestly, it really does help. And tell 10 men to tell 10 men. Yes, MVG, every 3 hours I'm dropping in. Cheers, Bungle B. Take it easy. Couple of pints and off to bed. Agreed, man. Cheers, AO. You're all legends. Take it easy, Hummers11. Don't feel like I've seen you for ages, brother. Take it easy. Thank you for everybody, genuinely, who's shared me, come along on the marathon. George, everybody, who've joined me on the marathon. Danny Bowden, George McPherson, Roger Slicker, never to be forgotten. 78 RPM, MVG, BMG, Danny Bowden, AO, Brett. There's too many here to mention. CB, Greengrass, Graham Smith. I've had loads of you in today. I proper appreciate it. Marcus May, Joe Peru can sniff a goal. You know it. Enar in the wings. My man, Danny Bowden. Right, take it easy, everybody. Appreciate every which one of you. We've got to 50 likes. I'll take it. It's halfway to what we want to be getting to. We want to be getting to 100. But shit is, shit does. You don't always get there. Take it easy, everybody. Yes, Clive T. What's good, big man? Johnny Howson, yes, indeed, Clive. Another good shout. Right, I'm out, boys. Thank you. Take it easy, everybody. Peace.
Boom.